Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news as I'm sitting here finishing up Newswave and all this. It wasn't going to get into the next Newswave, so it would have been Monday that I would have talked about this. And it's just, this is too funny to wait that long to go over, because Nintendo just dropped the title that's going to help fill out their summer release. And it's a good thing they waited and gave Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, at least a couple of weeks here before they drop this megaton, and we're gonna go over this here today because it's incredible stuff. And you know what? It actually gives us an idea as to if we can really expect a June Direct from Nintendo. So if you guys enjoy the video, make sure you like it and subscribe if you're new here to the Spawn Wave channel. Let's head over here to Nintendo's page that just went live, and that's for Everybody 1-2 Switch. I'm not even kidding. When they put this up on Twitter, I had to quadruple check to make sure it wasn't one of those like meme accounts that'll just kind of try to name themselves as close to Nintendo as possible, do something with the check mark just to make it look official, and they tweet out stuff that's obviously ridiculous and stuff. But no, Everybody 1-2 Switch, it is a thing. Nintendo announced it, and it's $30. It looks like it might just be a digital only product. Obviously, this is a sequel to 1-2 Switch that launched alongside of the system back in 2017, and it was actually one of the games that was heavily shown off during those pre-release events where they were trying to showcase the features of the Switch. And to be fair, 1-2 Switch worked really well to showcase what the Joy-Con itself could do. So in that environment, it made sense. In the environment of selling it as a $50 game, not so much. Here, though, they have it at $30, so I don't know, maybe they took some of the feedback. Maybe it's not very confident in what they have here, which we'll talk about that in a minute here, because this isn't the first time we've heard of this game. Anyway, they say you mix up your next get-together with Everybody 1-2 Switch game, grab some Joy-Con controllers or smart devices. So you can use your cell phone, I guess, for some of these different mini games or things that are happening in there. And I mean, that's a smart way to do it, because then you don't need 8 Joy-Cons or something. Now, again, this is all breaking, so we need more information on the number of mini games, the gameplay, a trailer, but 3.3 gigabytes, and it's coming out June 30th. So this was announced less than a month. I mean, basically 29 days from its release. Now, I mentioned this is not the first time that we've heard of Everybody 1-2 Switch, because we can see this is June 2022. So a year ago, about a year ago, there was a report that was posted by Imran Khan at Fanbyte, and they talked about Everybody 1-2 Switch. This game has been in testing and development for longer than you would think, is what I'll say. This has been kicked around, to my understanding, for at least a year and a half when I was hearing about it, and even before that, it was kind of generalized as a game that Switch owners probably wouldn't like so much. And if you're someone who was, hanging out waiting for Nintendo to show up with some big time announcements for the summer to go alongside Pikmin, Everybody 1-2 Switch probably isn't necessarily one you're hoping to hear about, and probably won't be on your radar. Although I guess at $30, maybe for like the family or just kind of having fun with friends. But this was a quote from that report. When playtesting groups received the game, the feedback to the development team was brutal. The target audiences Nintendo was hoping to hit families with children found the games boring. Many didn't even want to play through entire rounds. In the bingo example, one player would use the Joy-Con to mime digging out a number before reading it off the TV screen, a process that playtesters reported as tedious. They went on to discuss some of the words that were being used to describe it at a place like Nintendo of America. Not great is basically what I'll say there. So it hadn't been testing well internally. It's possible they shifted some focus or things around since then, because again, this report is from a year ago, and it being a quick to announce and then release at $30 tells me that Nintendo isn't exactly super confident in this, lighting up review scores or being a big system seller, or even software seller at this point. But Everybody 1-2 Switch coming out June 30th for $30. And this, of course, plays into the idea of a June Direct. I think people were expecting, or at least have been talking about, the idea that Nintendo would have some sort of presentation ready to go, since we have now seen one from Sony, even though, it was in May, but close enough, right, to E3, not E3 time. We have Microsoft coming up in 10 days, right, so that's exciting there. Ubisoft Forward will happen. Devolver, they have the Direct moniker. It's the Devolver Direct. I guess they're the ones who are going to have it. I don't expect Nintendo to have a Direct in June. All right, and some of that was kind of revealed to us when Nintendo basically said their overall plans don't align with E3's scheduling. Remember, that was the reason they said that they were going to skip E3. And people didn't think too much of it, but I kind of feel like Nintendo was saying, hey, we don't really have enough to show at E3. And some of that, I think, is because they're kind of in between generations now without actually saying it. They're obviously preparing for their next system, which means a lot of their studios internally and developers are working on things to help launch the hardware, which are games. So while we are still looking towards Pikmin, right? Pikmin's coming up in a month or so, right? And then Metroid Prime 4 should be on this system now. I mean, that's basically what Nintendo has advertised it on since its PNG reveal back in 2017. But it could be cross-gen, so we could be looking at Metroid Prime 4 coming out in 2024. We have a very limited, I guess, just roadmap right now for the rest of this year with Nintendo and into 2024. So it at least made sense for there to be a June Direct, but I think this is what you're going to see. Not more everybody want to Switch games, but like you're going to see Twitter drops for these games, and there's a chance they could end up being announced close to release. I don't know if it's gonna be 30 days close. This is pretty last minute feeling, but you could have an announcement and then, oh, it's coming out in August, right? Like that's the biggest thing now. Technically, Nintendo has a June release. They have a July release with Pikmin. You feel like they would want an August release, and then September they would probably hold, I assume, a more general Direct that would work to set up the holiday season. And then maybe the first half of 2024, which means they could start kind of showing their hand when it comes to what their next generation device would be. But there you have it. Everybody won to Switch, a game that people were joking about and throwing around as, of course, Nintendo would do that. Well, Nintendo's doing it. So at least they didn't try to price it fully at like $60 or something. $30, potentially digital only, just kind of throwing it out there. I think it would have been better if it was just something to go along with Nintendo Switch Online as one of those Tetris 99 or something style games, but they want to sell it digital only party game. You can look at it that way, and that's their big June release, I assume, and this is kind of their strategy, I believe, going until September when their next big general direct is. So I just put it out there now. I wouldn't expect much for June from Nintendo. But let me know what you guys think about this one down below, with everybody want to Switch actually being a thing and coming out in about 30 days. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.